How we doing, Mel? Let's have a look what we've got. Going back to an old school one, just while I've got the while I've actually got a little bit of time to sit down and do this a bit more thoroughly. Let's see what we've got. Okay. Weight moving comfortably, but quite yeah, and you've even put there, like, I mean, the pauses are good and the actual bar speed is not the issue, but yeah, you kind of skipped about 50% of your setup on that one. It was kind of just you set back, you got down so far, and then the rest just came from the shoulders rounding forward in order to just get that little bit lower down to the ground. So we'll see if that's hopefully that's a one-off. Yeah, very much the same. So this isn't like I've seen you do recently at all. Like, not at all. These are yeah, these are a little ugly, to be honest. Again, the weight's moving okay. The pauses are pretty solid. Yeah, there's something very much not right there. So we'll have a look at the other footage and see if it's a one-off from having that massage work done, because that's not something I would like to see. Okay, right. So all on this day, the deadlift was a little off. Okay, so we need to take into account. Remember as well, try to avoid using the frame quite so much in the setup. Try using the bar, pushing it to the back of the J-hooks and using that as your anchor to kind of work with, because the rack will wobble like a motherfucker. Yeah, resetting each time nicely. Butt's coming up. Yeah, but I can clearly see daylight under the butt on those. Okay, so that's really got to tidy that up. Okay, looks like you've tried to exaggerate that arch a little more than usual there, but there's no point if the butt's coming up. You know, being able to, you know, if you could do that for 7 reps, that's awesome. But if they call you up on rep 1. Yeah, again, the butt's clearly up. Yeah, we're quite away. Definitely from this angle, and to be fair, like, there's, if there looks like I can see daylight through the other side from here, it's something worth keeping. Like, you'll know better, because the angle's not ideal, you know what I mean, because I can't see what your under butt is doing. You know, and really, as long as you don't break contact entirely, you're okay. Like, this was a better set in terms of actually what's going on with the bar. The pauses were better. I'm just very kind of aware of your butt at the moment, and what that's doing. Okay, right. Much better. There we go. It's a bit more like it, Mel. Yeah. Now, I'm just noticing on a couple of these, as you're getting into that full extension at the top, happened more at the start. Now you're starting to get a little tired and the bar's slowing down a wee bit. Your toes rising up quite a bit, so you can see on these first couple of reps, the toes are quite clearly coming up off the floor. Just something to kind of bear in mind with that one is that you want your big toe being pinned into the floor the whole time. So yeah, that's quite an obvious one. It's one of those that sort of won't really ever catch you out. It's just one of those that as you're starting to get heavier and heavier on those top end singles, you know, that sort of like second attempt, third attempt, you need as much of you in contact to deliver force with the floor as possible. Excuse me, as possible. Yeah, these are much better. Much better. And if you feel like your belt is giving you some jip, feel free to adjust it ever so slightly. It'll only have to be sort of like a little micro adjustment, you know what I mean? Like I'm not a big fan of these people who wear their belts like underneath their tits. Like it just doesn't add up to me unless you're a super heavy. It just doesn't add up. But if you do need to adjust things a wee bit, that's fine. Oh god, this angle. So remember, we're corkscrewing those femurs out before you start. Okay, so before you initiate the movement, okay, so femur down here, I want you to get up in your original starting position, and then I want you to turn. These need to turn out as much as possible. Keep your feet glued into the floor. Try and split the floor, okay, and externally rotate here. Get the glutes, get the ad and adductors working so that they're in a position to pull the legs out as you go into a squat. You can just see on a couple of those, they're kind of the ab and adductors are working as you're descending. So as they're being lengthened, they are having to also stabilize throughout the hip and knee. So something just to bear in mind with that one. Just you want to be uncomfortably tight in that bottom position. Makes things. Oh, don't worry. I've seen every angle possible. Don't worry. Now these look better. I think the left foot can be turned out ever so slightly more. And just at the moment, I'm just seeing a lot of shoulder rising, seeing a lot of movement. But then as the shoulders come down, I want you to finish that off by pulling the bar over you. Okay, it just looks like on a couple of those, the bar's just kind of resting on you ever so slightly. Cool. Yeah, that's in for me. Yep. Yeah, okay. So again, this is where turning those feet out ever so slightly more is going to allow you to drive the knees out just that little bit more. And it's kind of like 1 degree more turn out at the knee is going to lead to kind of like half an inch of depth. It really is quite like the more you can turn out, the better. Yeah, much better. Yeah, that one was a little bit, put the brakes on a little early. And again, so at the moment I'm seeing a lot of movement from sort of chest up. I want to see movement in the tummy. I want to see, at the moment you're just filling up your lungs and that's it. I want to see you take a deep breath in and really push out against that belt. Okay, this is where all the movement should be, not here, because the more the bar's moving kind of wherever up here, it's upsetting that starting position, okay, and creates a bit of irregularity. Whereas if the bar stays relatively fixed and you, rather than like up and then let it kind of settle down on you, the movement here and then pull. But all the movement, you can't see it off the webcam, but all the movement happened there at my stomach, not at my shoulders. Oof, yeah. Wow, yeah, very good for 52. Yeah, this angle does tidy it up a little bit for me, sort of like what I'm seeing with the butt. It's kind of just your lower cheek is on, but yeah, good on that spotter. Fair play, it made you work for it. Good, yeah, not bad for 52. Not bad, moved pretty well. Right, I'll be making your adjustments today, as I am again engaged tomorrow. But hopefully the rest has done you some good. We'll get back to regular, regular schedule, and then we start really ramping things up a bit now. We're into that kind of, that last block, that last little push. I think I want to get some regular exposure to the high-end singles on the bench now. Just get you unracking that 52 up as often as possible. And the same with the deads as well. The squat, basically, I want to keep sort of like, keep the momentum kind of going as it is, really. Keep that flow. I just want to really focus on depth for that one, because technically there's not a huge amount to tidy up. Those deadlifts you did earlier in the week, you even commented, like I feel like a little fried. Because that's very uncharacteristic of you, you know what I mean? That's not even the kind of stuff you were doing when we first started. And that got better as the videos went on. Feel free to play around with your belt ever so slightly. A centimetre or two is all it needs to be. Again, I'm not one of these people who sits it really, really high. But again, with the deadlift and the squat, Mel, I want to see all the movement coming from here, okay? Coming from the core, okay? That I should be able to see visibly expand, okay? And really, I'm not looking for you to necessarily push out against the belt quite so much. I just need to see that is where the tension is building up, okay? If I could see tension as it's building up, I want to see it go in and then straight down and all pack in here, okay? Because that's where it needs to be, okay? Let me know if there's any issues having come back off your travels, if there's anything we need to adjust in terms of amount of sessions and stuff like that. If not, I will get it out to you hopefully Monday morning, if not tonight. Okay, all the best.